Welcome along to a rather wet and soggy Oulton Park for round 11 of the 2017 Mini Miglia Championship. Well, British summer is here. It is doing its very best. The crowds sheltering under their umbrellas as the cars head onto the grid on what is a very wet Oulton Park circuit. Let's run you through the order. Rupert Death, the 2014 champion, on pole position alongside his number 21 Aaron Smith. Row 2 of the grid is where we see Alfie Brown and the 2015 champion Kane Aston. It's another champion on row 3, the 2011 champion Endaf Owens with Sam Summerhayes, Colin Peacock and Mark Sims on row 4, Jason Porter and Gordon Pocock are there on row 5. For the Libra cars at the tail end of the field, it's Paul Thompson from Gary Warburton and then Peter Cruz from Peter Hills in the Libra cars. So the cars are assembled on the grid, the lights are on, the windscreen wipers are going, the red lights are about to come on, which they do now. The silver and orange car of Rupert Death on pole position gets a good start. It looks like it's a good start from Alfie Brown from the second row of the grid. Aaron Smith a bit slow away though from the outside of the front row of the grid, and it's going to be Rupert Death that leads as they head up towards Old Hall for the first time. Kane Aston sweeps his way around the outside of Alfie Brown, and the slow starting Aaron Smith slots himself through into fourth place. Rally crossing on the grass is Gordon Pocock on the way out of Old Hall corner. But as they splash their way down the avenue and in towards Cascades for the first time, it's Kane Aston that leads the race. Rupert Death in second place, Alfie Brown sitting there in third position, and fourth place was the slower way rather, Aaron Smith, who's claimed 4 victories so far this season but just didn't get a good start when the lights went out. And equally as much, Endaf Owens has dropped down through the order as well, the 2011 champion at the wheel of his number 32 car. Whilst Kane Aston, by the look of things, is now just starting to build a very subtle advantage in the early stages of this race. Kane Aston leads, Rupert Death second, under pressure from Alfie Brown in third place, and Sam Summerhayes has got the inside line heading up towards Druids Corner and takes fourth place away from Aaron Smith, so down to fifth. From second on the grid goes Aaron Smith, and it doesn't end there because he's got Colin Peacock now breathing down his neck. So the leaders head underneath the Warwick Bridge. Alfie Brown desperate to try and unlock the door and get himself through and ahead of the 2014 champion Rupert Death, who leads the championship coming into this weekend. He's had 5 wins so far this season, has Rupert Death, but he's under pressure for what is second place from the charging Alfie Brown. The black car with its day-glow orange livery to the front of it looks to try and draw himself alongside of the inside line for Old Hall Corner and goes through into second position. So up to second for Alfie Brown, down to third for Rupert Death, the current championship leader. Sam Summerhayes is still there in fourth position, but off and into the barriers, and that is Endaf Owens that's had an off at Old Hall Corner. The car has locked up, I would suggest, gone straight on, smacked into the barriers, and the Welshman clambering out of the number 32 car, which is not in a particularly safe place, I would tend to suggest. For the Libra class, Peter Cruz having a great little squabble with Gary Warburton as they fight over what will be places just outside of the top 10 at the moment, but with Endaf Owens' car not being in a particularly safe place. Out is coming the safety car, the remnants of tyre wall which have been pretty much destroyed by the number 32 car, just being moved out of the way by the marshals. Endaf absolutely fine and out of the car. The tyre barrier doing absolutely what it tends to do, which is dissipate the energy from the incident, and the cars now are going to have to line up behind the safety car. There is Colin Peacock at the wheel of Peter Baldwin's multiple championship winning car, but for Endaf Owens, the 2011 champion, not a great start to his day, and the frontal damage to that car means that car is going to have to be winched out of the way because marshal power is not going to shift it. So you can see the front left-hand corner of that car, the damage that the suspension has suffered. Lights out on the safety car, so circuit has been cleared. Kane Aston will decide when he wants to get the race back underway. He has got breathing down his neck Alfie Brown, who we have not seen on the podium as yet so far this year. He's had a 4th, Alfie Brown, he's had a 6th. We haven't seen him in all of the championship rounds, but he's going really well in unbelievably tricky conditions, the youngster. Over the start-finish line they'll go. Aston gets the race back underway. It's a good restart from him. It's a great restart from Alfie Brown, who's sitting on his bumper up towards Old Hall Corner. Rupert Death there in third place. Sam Summerhayes still under attack from Aaron Smith in fourth and fifth places respectively, and Colin Peacock will complete the top 6 at this stage. But as they head down the avenue in towards Denton's and then on towards Cascades, it is still the 2015 champion in the Miglias, Kane Aston, that leads the race. He was the 2009 Mini 7 champion as well, but he's under pressure from Alfie Brown, who we've not seen on the podium as yet so far this year. He's had a 4th, he's had a 6th. We haven't seen him in all of the championship rounds, but in these tricky conditions, he really is driving very, very well indeed. Splashing their way out of Knickerbrook. Aaron Smith still looking to try and hoist himself up into 4th place at the expense of Sam Summerhayes if he can. But the lead three are absolutely still together. Kane Aston from Alfie Brown, then Rupert Death just clinging onto the coattails of the lead pair. They slither their way out of Druids underneath the Warwick Bridge, and Alfie Brown's got a good run this time on Kane Aston, who is on the right-hand side of the circuit, protecting the inside line for the right-hander at Lodge that's coming up, and Alfie Brown's going to brave it around the outside by the look of things. The less polished surface might work here in the rain, but he's on the grass on a big splash as he heads through one of the puddles, and that is going to compromise his speed as off and into the gravel right below our camera point has gone James Cuthbertson, so he's out of the race. So Kane Aston leads, Rupert Death up to second, and well, let's hope that run through the puddles is not going to cause any water to get into the inner workings of the A-Series engine. For the moment, Alfie Brown still looking as though he is charging there in third place, trying to fend off Sam Summerhays whilst attacking absolutely still the car in second position, which is the silver car with its orange wheel arches to it in the hands of Rupert Death. Here is going to be car number 126. This is Peter Hills, who is busy fighting away with Gary Warburton. That will be for second in the Libra class at this stage, because up the road from these two and leading the Libra class is Peter Cruz. So he has managed to pull himself through and away and ahead of that little pair, as this trio are still together for the lead. You wouldn't have thought that just a lap ago Alfie Brown had had that problem, because he's now right back up onto terms with both Rupert Death and Kane Aston, the two former champions that sit ahead of him. And again, Kane Aston just protects that inside line on the run up towards the braking area for Lodge Corner, waves out of the window, and that's not to say hello to Rupert Death, that's because he spotted the yellow flags following the off for James Cuthbertson and just wanted to make sure that Rupert Death didn't inadvertently overtake under yellow flags. Now they've gone past the green flag, they can resume their battle once more. Rupert Death trying to attack Kane Aston again for the lead of the race, needs to make sure he watches his mirrors though, because Alfie Brown's not too far away, and Alfie Brown's throwing one up the inside heading in towards Oulton Corner. From third up to second goes Alfie Brown, just as Rupert Death was looking to gain a place. Unfortunately, he lost one, and now Kane Aston is going to feel the pressure from the young Alfie Brown. They work their way down in towards the braking area and towards the bottom of the circuit. Kane Aston slithering his way through Cascade, and this is the battle for the lead of the Libra class at this stage. Paul Thompson under enormous pressure from Peter Cruz as those two go nose to tail out of Oulton Corner. Battle for the lead of the Libra class, a battle for the lead of the race overall, as Kane Aston again throws the spray into the face of Alfie Brown, who is hugely keen to try and unlock the door to the lead of the race, a lead which, if he could grab it, would see him potentially head towards his first victory in the Miglias. They turn their way through the right-hander at Druids. He needs to attack and defend at the same time, because Rupert Death is poised and ready to pounce should the lead pair slip up at all. There's also Peter Hills and traffic to deal with as well just up the road. Peter running in the Libra class is about to be lapped by the lead quintet of cars who turn their way through Lodge Corner, and a big mistake for Paul Thompson, who was leading the Libra class. He slithers his way all the way through the grass and then through the gravel at Druids Corner, a very fast moment, and that means that Peter Cruz is going to go through to take up the lead of the Libra class, whilst to take up the lead of the race overall is Alfie Brown now, who's got himself through and ahead of Kane Aston and heads on to the final lap of the race, again splashing over the curbs, compromises his run coming out of Oulton Corner. That allows Kane Aston to close on him and have the inside line as they head down towards Denton, so the order has shuffled yet again. Kane Aston goes back through to take up the lead of the race, Alfie Brown down to second, Rupert Death in third place, then the blue car with its day glow flashes is Sam Summerhays in fourth place, but he's under pressure from Aaron Smith as well. And again, Alfie Brown this time looks as though he's got the inside line for Nick O'Brook. Yeah, just as he's lost the lead of the race, he retakes it again up the inside of Kane Aston this time. So 5 for the lead of the race. They climb their way up Clay Hill for the final time, and it's Alfie Brown that has his nose just ahead of Kane Aston, who thought briefly about trying around the outside at Druids, but then realised that that's probably not a bright idea. He's got another couple of corners maybe to have a quick nibble, but for the moment he's hooking the right hand side of the circuit to protect the inside line from Rupert Death, who's desperate to try and get himself from third up to second. Alfie Brown turns his way through Lodge for the final time. Kane Aston in second place just washes out a little bit wide. He's on the curbs on the exit of the corner. Rupert Death might pick his pocket on the run to the line here, and Sam Summerhays as well, but the win is going to go the way of Alfie Brown, who comes through to take the victory. Rupert Death just in second place ahead of Kane Aston. That grassy moment on the exit of Lodge Corner did drop Kane Aston down the place, and this is going to be the winner of the Libra class. That is car number 177, Peter Cruz, who is running in 8th position overall and is going to be the first of the cars home in the Libra class. What a fantastic first race of the weekend for the Miglias at Oulton Park, and the weather certainly did its best to spoil the racing. The drivers did their very best to make it as entertaining as it ever is. Alfie Brown claims his first win of the season in the 2017 Mini Miglia Championship, and that is his first ever win in the Miglias as well. Confirmation of the results then. It's a win for Alfie Brown from Rupert Death in second place and Kane Aston in third. Sam Summerhayes, Aaron Smith and Colin Peacock complete the top 6 ahead of Gordon Pocock. Peter Cruz is there in 8th place, but he more importantly wins the Libra class ahead of Gary Warburton and Peter Hills. A great first race of the weekend at the mini festival at Oulton Park, and 3 happy looking drivers heading on towards the podium. Alfie Brown shakes the hand of Kane Aston and of Rupert Death. He heads onto the top step of the podium for the first of the 2 races here at the mini festival at Oulton Park.
He's not old enough to drink it, so not yet. It started off while it was still raining, and then on the safety car the rain stopped and it got a bit sunnier, so visibility was all right. Not much more you could have asked for a good condition of a wet race.
Pleased to come away with second, because obviously I'm in with the championship points, and you know I need all the points I can get. Wet is not my strong point anyway. I don't like the wet, but to come away with a good clean second, and it was a good race. I thought, you know, it seemed to be quite short though, I must say. But yeah, hopefully race 2 this afternoon, looking like the weather's sort of brightening up. We might be in with a dry race, and we'll see if we can do some more damage then.
I just keep giving it away, which is quite disappointing really. You know, I've not done a full season, so Brands Hatch I was leading all the time, and then I lost it by 38 thousandths. Yeah, it was different. The wet, I enjoy the wet. I mean, Alfie did really well, so it is what it is. I just, you know, there's a couple of corners I just was struggling with, and Alfie was taking advantage of it, and hence why the win, and also why I lost second, because I went wide, just couldn't get the grip.